investigating cases of non-compliance with the SIRA Act and Firearms Control Act within the private security industry. To this effect, SIRA seeks to enforce compliance of all withdrawn or liquidated security companies' licenses to possess firearms. Community mobilization and the resourcing of the CPFs. In realizing the theme for this year, combating crime through decisive police action and robust community involvement, policing communities and policing with communities remains the backbone of our policing direction going forward. We therefore call upon communities to embrace and throw their full weight behind the police to turn the tide of crime and create safer communities. Honorable Chairperson, to this end, 70 million is allocated to the provinces to support community policing forum in terms of resourcing requirements. This funding is assisting the CPFs with resources such as vehicles, laptops, torches, reflective jackets, and other tools of trade. In addition to the above, 5 million is also provided for community interaction in terms of Zimbizo awareness campaign summits and conferences working with communities. Honorable members, during the 2022 MTEF budget, additional funding of 5.7 billion was allocated to SEBS that allowed the department to enlist 12,000 employees to maintain the staff establishment of 179,502 employees in total. A total of 10,000 police trainees have been enlisted in the 23-24 financial year, with the additional funds allocated in the previous and current budget allocation to SEBS. A total of 10,000 police trainees will be recruited annually to the next 2 financial years. That includes those that are at college as we speak, as a second consecutive year, which will bring a total of 30,000 new police recruitment in the MTSF period. We are calling on all South Africans from all walks of life to join the SEBS. The police service remains an organization of choice for all South Africans, regardless of color, race, and their background. Chairperson, the detective environment remains critical in the investigation of crime and overall improvement within the criminal justice system. In this regard, the action plan rigorously addresses the state of the detectives to improve the detection rate and finalization of the caseload per detective and station level. This includes a progressive retention and promotional strategy in this regard. A significant portion of more than 20% of the overall police budget is allocated to the detective services, while 28.8% or 2,880 new recruits that from the 10,000 are designated to be trained as detectives. To further boost the investigative capacity of the SEBS, the police management is re-enlisting and inviting back experienced members of the service in good standing who can contribute to the detective services following the necessary 3-month retraining. Capacitation of crime intelligence remains a priority, while the strengthening of functionalities pertaining to this cybercrime and specialized multidisciplinary units are equally prioritized. In our efforts to continue with implementation of Falam Commission recommendations tabled, funding has been set aside to continue to capacitate the existing public order policing. To date, an additional 4,000 of POP have been trained. Honorable members, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, baseline allocation is sustained during the financial year. Strengthening the capacity of the DPCI continues to yield positive results in the investigation of high-profile cases. Currently, there are initiatives to address the deficiencies that were identified by the Financial Action Task Team, TAFT, that are aimed at accelerating the implementation of TAFT standards and methodologies with SEBS. The TAFT recommendation place emphasis on attending to the money laundering and terror financing. The DPCI, in consultation with the role players, which are NPA, FIC, and SSA, have compiled an action plan for implementation in the first quarter of 23-24 to deal with the recommendation of the fund. Meanwhile, the DPCI have 51 cases, dockets, inquiries on hand, from which 26 arrests related to the state capture were affected. While the cases emanating from July unrest have not yet been concluded in court, 65 accused are being considered for the additional charges of terrorism. The DPCI is working with detectives, crime intelligence, and the National Prosecution Authority to bring the cases to the logical conclusion. Moreover, of the 149 Truth and Reconciliation Commission cases investigated by contracted former police officers, 81 inquests have been enrolled, with 15 dockets have been sent to the NPA. The Hawks National Head Office established a National Clean Audit Task Team to specifically deal with fraud, corruption, money laundering, and contravention of the Municipal Financial Act in identifying municipalities. During investigation, more than 54 million of assets retained and recoveries have been effected, with a total of 81 individuals and total 9 entities arrested. That has happened. Chairperson, the Hawks continue to make serious inroads in dismantling of drug syndicates. To this end, the Serious Organized Crime Investigation registered 20 projects, which saw 27 drug laboratories discovered and dismantled, and 45 individuals arrested. They also registered 5 projects to deal with illegal mining, where property worth 13 million was preserved. In the last financial year, the Hawks arrested 339 suspects for precious metals and diamonds. They also secured convictions of 92 accused persons. As an example, I shall reflect on the following 3 cases. Those cases are 15 AK-47 600 rifles shortcoming and 5 rifles, 1,000 of ammunition, explosive, and cash were seized. The accused are appearing in court as we speak. 87 illegal miners, 87 of them have been sentenced to 6 years and 8 years individual. All accused remain in custody. Arrested in March 2023, they were sentenced to a 696 years imprisonment by Stilfontein Regional Court. In Kusong and Carltonville, Gauteng, the 7 suspects alleged to have been buying gold-bearing materials from the Zamazamas, process it and sell it to the next level in the hierarchy. These cases are still in court. Honorable members, the status of the historic DNA backlog at 241,152 cases in the first quarter of 21-22 financial year has been reduced. As of today, the DNA backlog is only 636 that is left from the 241. That is a 99.70 achievement. Biology and Environment of South African received and registered 338,439 new cases exhibit and finalized 525,000 cases exhibits. We are keeping that capacity that we have created to achieve this, so that this never happens again. The finalization rate has increased progressively from 21% in 21-22 financial year to over 131 the end of this financial year. The SAPS is also implementing similar measures and the turnaround strategies to tackle delays in processing of ballistic and chemistry samples. Since the establishment of project in conjunction with the NPA in July, a total of 31,259 gender-based violence and femicide-related court-ready cases have been successfully enrolled. In order to further increase SAPS forensic investigation footprint in the country, a newly refurbished and expanded forensic laboratory is to be opened by His Excellency the President very soon. The investigative footprint is resulting in the revamping of the forensic laboratory in KZN. An action plan has been developed that aims to respond to crimes related to GBV, vulnerable groups, and sexual offenses. This plan also focuses on the resourcing of the FCS units, both national and provincial level, with a total of 1.3 billion for both proactive and reactive responses when it comes to the GBF. That's how serious we are when it comes to these cases. Honorable members, improving the police service through skills development is being prioritized. The department is putting in place a number of interventions in addition to the annual cost of living adjustment to enhance the working conditions for the employees. Employees are having the chance to advance in their careers. To enhance the overall compensation package for the impacted employees, allowance in particular environment are also reviewed. The multi-year SSBC agreement signed with the organized labor in 2018 on the backlog of employees to qualify for grade progression was honored and concluded in 2022. Since then, more than 58,000 employees, constables, sergeants, and warrant officers levels were promoted in terms of this grade progression. SAPS has reprioritized funding human resources activities in order to fund and increase the service allowance. The SAPS service allowance has therefore increased from 400 per month to 700 per month on April a month. We have moved from 400 to 700, and with the back paid from the April last year of those members. Honorable members, this increase is a major shift from the service allowance, which had remained unchanged since the dawn of democracy. Now more funding is prioritized from the current baseline, and this will be reviewed on the regular basis in consultation with labor. The SAPS officers involved in corruption are subject to enhanced disciplinary measures to ensure that they are held accountable for their action and to prevent any further corruption within SAPS. In order to effectively manage disciplinary processes, awareness raising measures are put in place and specialized disciplinary units are established on the nation. Honorable members, in advancing efforts of the institutionalizing discipline in the police, equally the IPIT remains a significant oversight body and mandated by Section 206 of the Constitution. The existence of the IPIT aims to ensure that the police execute their mandate within ambit of the law. The IPIT continues to operate independently while ensuring their approach executing their mandate is corrective, not punitive. The amendment of the IPIT Act is underway and the Civilian Secretariat has done so. Meanwhile, consequences management is implemented decisively to managers that are not fit for the purpose. The SAPS continue to invest in the acquisition of appropriate technology for the use in crime prevention, criminal investigation, and intelligence. This includes the purchase of unmanned aerial vehicles, those are drones, body-worn cameras, as well as shot spotters in high-density crime areas. To date, SAPS training more officers to be licensed to fly these drones. Honorable members, allow me to take this opportunity and thank Parliament for passing the relevant legislation on the usage of the interception and surveillance devices that have been gazetted already. Private sector partnership aimed at improving policing also being intensified, and of the response plan to prevent and combat crime. The existing collaboration in other provinces yielding a very good positive results. The results from the survey are to be used to enhance service delivery and to ensure that the public receive best possible experience at our police station. Additional 25 million rand is also allocated to provinces to the enhancement of the safeguard of the police station. We call on police to be more vigilant as police attacks and killings are on the increase. We also urge communities to support police safety efforts. Chairperson, departments spending over the medium term is in relation to the core programs with visible policing consisting of 51% on the total vote of 23-24. The SAPS has been allocated more than 1.8 billion for the procurement of transport assets. Meanwhile, other area to contribute to improve service delivery is a rapid response capacity and accessibility to the policing services. During the State of the Nation address on the 10th February, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa issued a call action noting that we use our competitiveness in call center operation to support the proper functioning of the 10,111 numbers. The South African Police Service has therefore, through the announcement of the President, engaged the Office of the President to explore the opportunities that Operate Vulindlela can provide in addressing of these shortcomings. Chairperson, a proposal has already been approved, which consists of 3 phases and work already underway to improve the functioning of the 10,111. We will be building the police station, Chair, and more than 1 billion has been put aside to make sure that this happens. Chairperson, there will be 13 police stations that will be handed over to the communities this financial year that have been built and finalized. Honorable members, fighting crime must be intensified through government cluster work, facilitating legislative reform. That is in the document passed by the cabinet, which has 6 pillars that all members of the government must follow to fight crime. Chairperson, I present to you the South African Police Service Budget Vote 28 for the financial year 23-24 to the amount of 102,137,000. The independent police investigation 350.
Order, honorable members.
The Department of Civilian Secretariat 150 million. Chairperson, I would really love to thank all those people that we have worked and served together, starting with the Deputy Minister, the Chair, the General Fani, the Chief of Staff, the Acting Secretary, the Head of IPID, and those that work with Syria, led by Advocate Chauke, Godfrey Libya, the head of Hawks, Raymond Sono, who works with the DNA, the judge, and then Ms. Shandu, who works with firearms, and my family, led by my wife Tembeka Cele, who has kept me sane under these trying conditions. I thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, honorable minister.